breaking down Lubbock Cooper sports. This is the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. We have one more segment to go this Wednesday night, and this week we're in the Pirate Fan Zone. I've got a couple of Pirates with me, and I'll introduce them in a minute. I want to run through the detailed stuff again real quick. Remember that this fall we have shuffled the deck a little bit. We go Estacado Memorial and Liberty on Monday night, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Tuesday nights are Monterey and Coronado from 6 to 7 p.m. Wednesday nights will be Lubbock High, Friendship, and Lubbock Cooper, 6 to 7:30 p.m. From 6 to 6:30 p.m. on Friday nights on Double T 97.3 and 100.7 The Score, you can listen to the West Texas Friday night preview. From 9:30 to midnight, those two stations carry the West Texas Friday night scoreboard. Archive shows can be found on the High School Fan Zone page at doubletsportsnetwork.com, and don't forget to download the 100.7 The Score mobile app to listen live or to listen to podcasts of any and all of the 8 High School Fan Zone shows, which wrap up this week with Lubbock Cooper. We're going to talk Pirate football, and I mentioned I've got Brenon Rhodes, who is, I know, special teams coordinator is one of your designations. What positions do you coach other than that, Brendan?
I coach running backs this year.
Running backs, which you've got a pretty good one next to us. Pull your mic a little bit closer to you. Chamayne or Deuce Johnson. Now, Silas Polite used to tell me that you didn't like to be called Deuce.
Nah, I did, but I like to go by Chamayne because it's my government name, and I want people to know my real name in game and stuff like that.
So. Now tell them why you're Deuce, though, because you and I have connected over this.
I'm a junior, so junior means 2, and then
you can brag on your dad.
Called by Deuce and stuff like that.
Chamayne Sr. played at Lubbock High back in the late 90s, early 2000s when I was a much younger sports writer. Covered some Lubbock High teams that were very fun to watch. Matt Porras was the quarterback. Joe Loudermilk was the coach. This is not going to sit well with Monterey people. That's the last Lubbock High team that beat Monterey back-to-back years in the Silver Spurs game. So I don't know if your dad brags about that or if he's told you about that, but he's one of a few players that can actually say that. So your dad was a dude. He was, I believe he was a receiver.
Yes, sir.
And he could scoot. So you got that speed naturally. And Mom may have given you some speed, too.
Yeah.
Give me Mom's claim to fame.
My mom, I don't know.
Besides having a handsome son that's really fast.
She plays sports here and there. So,
all right. So you got it from both sides. So we're doing all kinds of genealogy stuff here. Whenever I get a chance to mention that Lubbock High team, I do, though, because that was a fun team to watch. That's what, Brendan, that was back when Lubbock Cooper was a little 3A school out in the country. I can remember going out there and thinking, man, this doesn't look like it's going to amount to much. Well, it has. I should also mention Brendan is the new softball coach.
Yes, sir.
At Lubbock Cooper, which has got big shoes to fill.
Yes, sir.
But I have a hunch that because I got to know your predecessor very well and the way she talked about you, I'm going to guess that you're not thinking too much about that yet, but there's probably a level of excitement.
Yes, sir, there is. So I am thinking about it right now, too.
Fair enough.
But the girls are really good. The girls are fun to be around this time of year, and they're working really hard, getting ready for the season. So. And
you have somebody else that's pretty fun to be around now.
Yes, my little baby girl.
There you go.
She is got me wrapped around her finger.
Well, welcome to my world times 2. Brendan's, you talk about some life changes. He's ever since the end of, although Sherry Colwell snuck that out on me last year, but did I tell you that one of you guys had gotten to the 3rd or 4th round? I was coming to talk to you guys, and she said, I've got to go to this ceremony. I was like, what ceremony? She said, it's a retirement ceremony. For who? Well, for me. So she caught me off guard. Yep. She kept that very well under wraps. So, well, let's switch gears and we'll talk football. Lubbock Cooper's coming off of a 37-22 loss at Plainview. And I'll say this again, when I got started with Chip, I didn't say this quickly enough. You guys lost the game. Plainview's a very good team.
Yes.
And I think they made a statement, unfortunately at you guys' expense, but they came out and won the game. It wasn't – you guys made some mistakes. There were some things you could have done different. But, Brendan, when you're getting ready for them and you saw them on video, did you expect to get that kind of fight and effort from Plainview?
Yes, sir. Like the whole week we told them that they were a different team this year and they were a lot better. And going into the game all week, I think we had a good week of practice. We really did. And Coach Martinez at Plainview got them playing hard.
Yes, he does.
And they were rolling. So
now there were some circumstances. Obviously, when you have a quarterback who's taken so many steps and means so much to your team, and he all of a sudden he's not there, that's tough on the offense, Chamayne. Mm-hmm. And now Cooper Loonsman,
yes, sir.
He came in and settled down, but losing your starting quarterback kind of has a ripple effect. When it first happened, and Coach Darden said this the other day, he could kind of sense that guys were down on the sideline a little bit. What did it take to kind of adjust and get back into the groove?
It took the whole team to get him hyped because, he's a freshman, so of course he's going to be nervous. We had to talk to him just to get his mindset right, to get him actually excited to play a varsity game at a fast pace. So
I imagine excitement and nervousness probably had a lot to do with it, because I'm trying to think, is he 14 or 15, do we know?
Probably 14.
Go out there against a team with bad intentions. Mm-hmm. It's not easy now. And I said this to Coach the other day. I thought you played a big role helping him get comfortable, because you ran like a man possessed.
Yes, sir.
You ran hard, and there were not easy yards. Was that kind of something you wanted to take on your shoulders, to go out there and do anything you could to help the young guy get comfortable?
Yes, sir. I try to do everything that I could to help the team win and put us in a winning position. But with Cooper, just had to get his mind right. Even though we had like a bad handoff and with the fumble, Cooper got mad, and I got mad. I got very frustrated. But, we just had to keep moving on, going to the next play and keep our head up.
And he started making plays. Once he got comfortable, there's a couple of rollouts in particular where he didn't look like a freshman anymore. He looked like a good athlete that knew what he was doing. And whether he plays this week or whether it's Ryan's back or whatever, if he's got to be out there again, how much confidence do you have now that, okay, he's got that out of his system, now he can go out there and be a quarterback?
I have a lot of confidence in Cooper this week. Practice has been good so far. Just telling him to keep his head up, keep going, don't think about the bad plays, just go on to the next play and move on. So
that's probably been the mantra for every guy on the team this week, I would imagine. The Pirates are back in action Friday, 7 p.m. at home at Pirate Stadium right here on on 100.7 The Score against Wichita Falls Legacy. We're coming out on a break. We'll be back talking more Pirate football on the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Breaking down Lubbock Cooper sports. This is the Pirate Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the Pirate Fan Zone on a Wednesday night. I'm Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score. I mentioned this earlier, but a new feature we have on the High School Fan Zone is we name a Boys Player of the Week and a Girls Player of the Week. The girls player is Kayla Upham. She just told me that. Kaylee Upham from Friendship. Helped them get off to a 2-0 start in District 2-6A. She had 40 assists, 17 digs, and 5 aces. 4 of those aces came at the end of a match, the 5th set against Midland High, and it helped the Tigers get that one 3-2. The boys' player of the week is Donovan Torres from Estacado, who was their Swiss Army knife, did a little bit of everything in their win against 14-7 win against Randall. He had 4 tackles, broke up the final pass of the game, took over at quarterback when their quarterback got dinged up, which these guys got to experience a little bit last week. He rushed for 50 yards on 9 carries, and he also punted 3 times for 40.3 yards a game. He's just one of those guys that does a little bit of everything. Lubbock Cooper has a lot of those guys, including this young man next to me. I'm not going to say Deuce because I want to make sure we keep you happy. Chamayne, so when you're at home with Dad, are you Deuce there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he gets to have the name at home. That makes sense. And I mentioned that you're watching you kind of grow these last few years, and we mentioned Cooper coming in kind of in a sudden change. It's kind of, you were playing when Jackson Austin got hurt. You were a guy who was on varsity, but you had to elevate your role when he went down. So you kind of have some experience with that.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to get Coach to talk about you a little bit. Watching how he kind of grew and blossomed When that happened last year, what's that tell you about him and how he's grown to where he is now?
Yeah, it just hadn't been a one-year deal, though. Like, I've known Deuce since he was a freshman. Chamayne, since he was a freshman. Got to be his coach his freshman year, and just seeing him grow from his freshman year it's been awesome to see and awesome to be a part of. So.
And something Chip Darden told me is that you've started to add catching the ball out of the backfield a little bit more to your toolbox. Is that kind of a conscious thing you wanted to work on coming into this year?
Yes, sir. Because I want to do all. So I want to catch the ball, run the ball, and do all that for the team. So.
This may be a bad memory. Did you catch a pass at the end of the playoff game last year? Your game against.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You got dinged pretty good.
Yes, sir.
And you had to me, and I played football, you get hit pretty hard. Doesn't matter what part of the season is. It takes some guts to get up and come back and play. When did you kind of, unfortunately, your season ended that night. Not the whole team season ended that night. How long did it take you to kind of shake the cobwebs off of that?
It took me after the game when we had lost. Emotional, hurt. I feel like I could have stayed in, but at the same time, I really couldn't move. I couldn't feel my body, and
It makes you appreciate everything you get after that. We've talked about Ryan he got hurt against Plainview and missed the rest of the game. I'm going to guess he's probably, I don't know if he's still been around this week, but he's somebody who you guys know is going to be a leader no matter what his role is going to be. What was your message to him after the game and this week about kind of understanding what he went through, because you went through that last year?
I just told Ryan to keep his head up. It's going to be good. You're going to get hurt. You're going to miss a game. And he was just telling me that he wanted to play. I was like, you got to take care of your body. Just how I missed Tascosa week, I wanted to play that game so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And Coach Rhodes, I wanted to play so bad. And Ryan, just telling him to keep his body healthy, cause we're going to need him in the long run. We also have Cooper. He's a good QB. But Ryan, we're going to need him too. And
these dudes that wear those coaching shirts are thinking about your long-term future too. What you do on a football field is great, but you're going to be a dad someday. You're going to be a businessman somewhere or work or whatever. So I applaud the coaches for thinking of that as well. Wichita Falls Legacy comes in here. I think they're 1-4. They beat Coronado, got their first ever win, which was a big deal. Haven't won since then, but they were very feisty last week, Brenon. When you looked at them on video, and from a special teams perspective, let's start there. What about them get your attention that you have to have your guys ready for?
I think they're just explosive everywhere. They've got the athletes that can hurt us, no matter what phase of the game it is. So they've done a good job this week blocking out all the other distractions of this week, and haven't really even talked about it, which is good coming off of last week. So
one thing that Chip said the other day is that, and this doesn't surprise me, you guys didn't have to say anything to these guys. They understand, and there's a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a silver lining, but the fact you guys are in a bigger district, you have 6 games left or 5 games left instead of just the 4 where it starts to shrink on you. So we got one more segment of the Pirate Fan Zone. We'll talk more about Wichita Falls Legacy and the Pirates when we come back on 100.7 The Score.
Breaking down Lubbock Cooper sports. This is the Pirate Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the High School Fan Zone on this Wednesday night. I'm going to run through the schedule coming up, if I can find it. These guys, as I mentioned, we've got Lubbock Cooper at home right here on Double T. Did it again, right here on 100.7 The Score FM. That's Friday night against Wichita Falls Legacy at Pirate Stadium and in homecoming. And this is one of those years where you don't even have to think about that, do you? Just ignore all that. And
yes, sir.
When Bill Belichick's famous quote was, ignore the noise or whatever it was, because you guys have a football game to take care of, a pretty important football game, as they all are, but this one in particular. Thursday nights when the action starts out at Lowry Field, Estacado against Andrews at 7 p.m. Friday night, Coronado and Monterey at Lowry Field, 7 p.m. That game is on 96.9 The Bull and 93.7 The Eagle. Lubbock High goes up to Amarillo and takes on Tascosa at 7 p.m. let's see, I mentioned the Pirates here. Their Lubbock Cooper Brethren Liberty, that's the HubCpreps.com game of the week. Number 9 ranked Liberty goes to number 6 Greenwood, 7 p.m. Friday. That is on 93.1 Young Country. Lubbock Christians at home against Prosper Richland at 7 p.m. Trinity Christians at home against Tulia at 7 p.m. In 6A TAPS action, Kingdom Prep goes up to Wildorado for a 7 p.m. kickoff. And then Saturday at 1 p.m., Christ the King plays the West Texas Tornadoes. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody here. I kind of scattershotted that a little bit. Friendship's off, so I think we got everybody. You guys, we were just talking about this in between the breaks. Wichita Falls Legacy, it made sense that they got better, Brennan, because you're playing with young guys. You take some lumps that first year as a new school. But you also have a lot of those guys coming back. You mentioned the speed, but they've also gotten bigger, is what Chip said. You can see sometimes it takes a while for nature to take over just to start getting bigger.
Yes, sir.
What do they do well that you guys have to be ready for?
Their secondary is pretty good. Like they'll come downhill and hit. Their linebackers, they're over the top pretty quick on any kind of run or with pulling guards and stuff. So they're getting their reads. They're pretty disciplined with it, and their eyes really aren't in the backfield there.
Sounds like they've gotten older.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, if you guys are starting a freshman quarterback again, Chamayne, that sounds like a pretty good recipe to run the ball a lot.
Yes, sir.
I imagine that's got number 2 excited for Lubbock Cooper.
Yeah, it does.
I'm trying to think. I've seen you play a lot. What's the most times you've carried the ball in a game?
It was last year against Paul Duro. Had 34 carries.
And that was the game where I think the coaches, at least one coach that I know of that is the head coach, was pretty fired up at halftime. He said, we're just going to go run it and pound it at him.
Yes, sir.
He had a guy who could do that. Were you tired after that game?
Was I tired? I was tired. I was tired.
But you guys got the
body
job done.
sore. So
that's a good sore, though.
Yes, sir.
Brendan, all jokes aside, when you do have a guy that you can rely on in the running game, that's pretty good. I mean, I would imagine Matt Darden is going to sleep well this week, knowing he's got Chamayne back there to get the ball to.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've got 3 really good running backs back there that we trust.
Throw their names out and make sure.
Jathan Caraway, he's a junior, and then Keon Brown, he's a sophomore. So
you guys always seem to have that stair step. There's always somebody waiting, which is probably good motivation for you to know there's somebody. Because you were that guy at one point, you got on the field. So, and then it doesn't hurt to have Cade Gant and Wyatt Hare and
Noah Clark.
Yeah, and Noah Clark. That kid has really caught my attention right away. You're a guy who got to play a little bit as a young guy. What he's done, he's just a sophomore, right?
Yes, sir.
What he's done, what's that tell you about how good he can be here in the next few years?
He's going to be a heck of a player. Talking to Noah, telling him like how to play the game, like how to control his emotions. He's doing a very good job about it. First week, he got very onto himself because he kept dropping passes. I said, you got to go into the next. You got a lot of years left. You got a lot of football left, so you just got to keep going and keep striving.
I imagine that him and Cooper will probably get to know each other pretty well the next few years. And this is the case every week. Brennan, your offensive line has been dudes all season. They're going to have to, again, if it's a young quarterback, they've got to show up ready to play to make sure they get him as comfortable as possible.
Yes, sir. And it helps with the running backs back there, too, because all 3 of them are really good in the pass protection, also picking up who they need to. So
and we can't forget the defense. I think Cale Kirk probably just got another few tackles when we were talking just now. Was it 24 that he wound up with?
Probably.
It was. I saw that. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And you could tell that night he was involved in a lot of things. They had a rough first half against Plainview, and again, all credit to Plainview and the way they came out. But I thought the second half, your defense showed something that, okay, we've done this, now we're going to bow up. And that's that complimentary football thing. That's where they help your guys on offense gain a little bit of confidence too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that D line and our linebackers and even our secondary this year, all of them are really good and very physical.
They're going to have to be these next 5 games to get Lubbock Cooper back where they want to get. That wraps us up in the Pirate Fan Zone. This is 100.7 The Score. We'll talk to you next week on Monday when we come back with the next version of the High School Fan Zone. I'm Randy Rosetta.